Welcome to KRFC Live at Lunch Sound Technician Training. Today we are going to have a session on the Mackie mixer and how we use that for our Live at Lunch studio production, live production. We won't go into a whole lot of detail on the technical specifications and the actual operation of the Mackie 1640 Onyx mixer, but we will talk about the specifics of day-to-day operations, what we use the mixer for, and how we actually translate some of those capabilities into our Live at Lunch production. The first item of note is that we do reserve channel 16 on the board for the host microphone in the studio, and we do assign that to the talk submix. Now the submixes, I will go into a lot more detail here in a little bit. The next item of note will be that we use aux 3 on the board, and that's reserved for the reverb effects that are on the equipment rack just to the left of the mixer. The reason we use aux 3 on the Mackie is that that's the only aux that has the ability to be routed to a sub. And in this case, we route it to subs 1 and 2, which is a music mix. And again, I'll explain that. We divide the main mix into two submixes. The first one being for music, which contains the reverb, as I described just a little bit earlier, and all of the instruments and any of the vocalists that would go into that music mix. And the second submix will be the talk mix, and that's over here on sub 3 and 4. And that just contains the vocal mics and the host mic. So that has no reverb on it, and it contains only the microphones being spoken into. So any of the instruments are not live during this mix. And so what we do is bring one of these mixes up and fade the other one down when we're switching between either the music portion of the show or the talk portion of the show. You can have both present at the same time, but obviously it'll introduce reverb into the vocal mics if you're not careful, if you have the strength up too high on the music submix. So let's just step through a quick example, because you also have to set each channel to assign it to one of those submixes. And so what we'll do is we'll run through an example of we'll have two vocalists on two separate channels, and then each one of those will have two guitar mics each. So for the talk submix, what we want is to add the host in and the two vocal mics of the performers, but we do not want to add the instrument mics in, so you press these buttons right here. Then on the music mix, we don't want the host in there. We want all of the guitar instruments and the vocal instruments, so we press this row of buttons, which are the submix 1 and 2, just like this. And so those are just some of a couple of specific nuances that we do with the Mackie soundboard specific to the Live at Lunch studio. And following the remainder of this video is just a typical setup of the soundboard, preparing for a sound check. Any of the activities going on here are just standard mixer activities, and you can refer to the Mackie manual for any specific details.
You know, the takings. Hi, I'm Sharon.
Okay, now we're going to turn on the soundboard. On off switch right back there.
Yes, ma'am.
Power on the board.
P-A-K, Rossi, R-O-S-S-I.
Take off the mutes. Bring up the submix. Talk to you.
About a couple CDs here.
Are they a giveaway?
We're going to label the board here so we can keep track of it.
So then I'm just gonna assume that you can't take it.
I would assume that too. Just you could. I don't know. It's in your song, right?
Yeah.
I've had. Let me double check with it. I'll
Okay.
double check.
See, I can't flat pick. Sounds like you can to me. I'm going out to Denver. Shane's mountain star. Promise her smile. Shane's mountain star. She can bring sunshine.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was raining lightly one morning after just the night before. Didn't say a word. She was walking out that door, and she laughed, and she laughed. I heard it from the other room. Regret is what you let pass by just a moment too soon. The Santa Fe ring. What's going by?
All right, can you give me another minute of a typical one, kind of a typical volume? So I got the,
Typical volume?
yeah, where you think the, just, yeah, average
Alright,
typical
yeah.
one. Yeah, we're getting real close, just one more
Okay.
minute, I'll have it dialed in.
I heard what you told all your friends. I didn't really fit your style. But tell me, when the night grows cold and the party ends, who you gonna run to when you're tired of running wild? When the booze and the cocaine can't ease your pain, neither can all your good time friends. So, you got it?
Yeah,
All right.
that sounded really good. Oh, Charlotte, let's check your mic real quick.
Last time you said you were really quiet to begin with, and then you finally got up there, Sharon. So let's see how we do today.
How's that work?
It's great.
All right, I'm set. I'm happy.
I'm happy. You're happy.
And our next program is live.
Hi, it's Sharon Holbrooks here at Live at Lunch, and it's going to be a fabulous day. We have guests from Austin, Texas. We have Pate Rossi and Marshall Anderson, and we're going to have them just jam you up today.
I'll take one.
Marshall.
This song's called Santa Fe Road. In the park, in a Santa Fe rain, and I watched it go on by.
So So we're listening to Paik, Russie, and Marshall Anderson, and that was